Hey guys, Mark here. I hope you're all doing well. Today I have a very interesting and exotic knot that I would like to show you. This is the so-called Pompeii pattern, and it is a knot that looks best when it is revolved around and around, so you can see the entire pattern of the knot. This knot is not too hard to tie, but it does follow a fairly complicated run sequence, so you will need to be careful that you tie everything correctly. We're going to start this tutorial by taking a look at the supplies, and all you're going to need is a mandrel, 2 cords, one lighter one and one darker one, as well as a lacing needle. The first thing we're going to tie is the base knot, which is tied by first tying a 3-part 2-bite Turk's head, then expanding it with enlargement process number 2 into a 7-part 4-bite Turk's head, and finally, using enlargement process number 2, we expand it again into an 11-part 6-bite Turk's head. We're then going to interweave this Turk's head using the Pompeii pattern. But for now, take the lighter one of your cords and let's tie ourselves our base knot. So I have attached my lighter cord on the mandrel, and I'm going to start by making a wrap around, coming over the standing end, then coming over again, and going under over. We now come around again, and with this we have tied a 3-part 2-bite Turk's head, which we're going to expand using enlargement process number 2. To do this, we're going to go under the standing end, and we're now going to follow our standing end on the left side of it, going under over, and finally under the standing end. We're now going to follow our standing end to the left side, under, over 2, under, we're then going to go over our standing end, and we're now going to split the parallel cords that we just created. So we're going to go under 1, over 2, under 1, and finally over 1. We're going to enter the knot again, under 1, over 1, under 1, over 1, under 1, and over 1. And with this we have created a 7-part 4-bite Turk's head. We're going to expand this knot again using enlargement process number 2, and again we start by going under the standing end, we then follow our standing end on the left side, going towards the right, and we exit by going under the standing end. We're going to follow our standing end again, so we go under over, under, over 2, under, over and under. And with this we have created two parallel cords that we're going to split in our next sequence. So now travel over the standing end. And we're going to start splitting. So start with an under one. Then go over under. Then over two. Under one. Over one. Under one. And over one. Finally, we're going to go split another two parallel cords by going under over, under, over, then under, over, under, then over, under, over. And with this we have tied our 11-part 6-byte Turk's head, and you will need to work in some slack into the knot and adjust it so you will make room for your second cord. As you can see, the knot is not entirely symmetrical, so work in some slack and you will get a knot that looks like this. We're now going to start our interweave on the left side of the knot, and at the top of the screen you can also see the sequence that we're doing. So start with an under one, then go over three, under one, then over one, under three, over one, and under one. We're now going to travel to the left side, and we're going to start with an under one, then go over three, under three, then over two, and finally under three. We're now going to travel to the right side again. We're going to use a very simple sequence, so under 3, then over 6 cords, and finally under 3. We're now going to go towards the left side, and we start with an under 1, then go over 1, under 2, over 2, under 1, over 1, under 1, and finally over 4 and under 1. And now towards the right side again, over 1, under 1, over 1, under 3, then over 1, under 3, then over 3, and finally under 1. We're now going to travel to the left side again, and this time we're going to start with an over 1, then under 1, then over 2, and under 3, then go over 1, and under 4, then over 1, under 1, and finally over 2. We now travel towards the right again, starting with an under 2, then go over 4, under 1, over 1, under 4, then over 1, under 1, and finally over 2. Now again, towards the left, we're going to start with an under 1, then go over 4 chords, and under 1, over 1, and under 3, then over 4, and under 4. And again towards the right side, we're going to start with an under 1, then go over 1, under 4, then over 5 chords, under 1, over 2, and finally under 4. We're now going to travel towards the left again, and this time we're going to start with an under, then go over, then under 4, over 3 chords, then under 1, over 1, under 1, then over 2, under 1, over 4, and finally under 1. We're again going to travel towards the right side. And this time we're going to start with an over one, then go under one, and over one again, then under two, over one, under three, over one, and under three again, then over one, under one, over three, and under two. And we're now at our final sequence. And this one will start with an over one, then go under one, over two, under one, then over one, under one, and over one, under one. We're then going to continue by going over two chords, then under four, then over one, under one, over two, under one, and finally over the last byte, then over the standing end of the first color, and under two over the standing end of the color that we just used. And with this, our Pompeii pattern has been completed. So guys, if you got to this point and you tied this knot, I would like to congratulate you for your patience and hard work. I think this knot looks superb. Thank you for joining me and enjoy this beautiful knot. See you next time.